Welcome back, everybody, to Neutrality Studies. Today, for the first time, with Gerald Celente, an American trend forecaster and publisher of the Trends Journal. Gerald, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you very much for saying yes to this. And you've been somebody who's been working for all your life with markets and with trends of where things are going. And I would really wanted to pick your brain about what you think especially the Iran war is doing to the markets. And as we speak today on your morning, June 19th, how are the markets reacting to the memorandum of understanding that the US and Iran just did yesterday?
Very positive. And again, tracking trends is the understanding of where we are, how we got here to see where we're going. You go back before the Iran war, you saw the equity markets in the United States going down because of the fear of the private equity groups and the people wanting to pull their money out because AI is wiping out a lot of the smaller software and a lot of software companies. And people wanted to get their money out. Things were going terrible before that happened. And the war happened and things changed. And again, we only go by the facts. We're political atheists, by the way. We don't take sides on anything. And you look at things for the way they are, not the way you want them to be. So you go back and, again, by the facts. Trump said on March 1st, that the war's going to end in 4 or 5 weeks. And then on March 11th, he said, we won. I don't like to say we won too early, but we won. But they didn't win. But every time I'm mentioning this, the same thing with this guy who is the energy secretary, Chris Wright, or I call him Chris Wrong. He kept BS. They BS'd about the United States sending naval ships through the Straits of Hormuz to bring tankers through. It wasn't true at all. I'm mentioning this because it manipulates the markets.
Yeah.
And that's what you have going on now is market manipulation. And then you have to look at the facts. You have 3 companies, State Street, Vanguard, and BlackRock. Google it up. They own in value about 88% of the S&P 500. All right, 3 companies. Then you look at the data. 1% in America owns 54% of the stock markets. 1%. Then you put the 10% into it, it's 93%. So you have a rigged market. They're going to do everything they can to keep propping these things up. Once upon a time, there was this Italian guy by the name of Mussolini. The merger of state and corporate powers is fascism. And that's what you have. You look at now how Trump is buying up parts of companies like Intel. Oh, did you see Intel stock just went up? Oh, yeah, we just did a deal with them. One after another. The company after company, they're merging, and the corporations own the country. It's as simple as that. So there's no reality in the markets. The PE ratios are overvalued, and we believe there's going to be a dot-com bust. Again, we only go by the facts. And by the way, to make this perfectly clear, when I say that I'm a political atheist, I don't believe in any of the political systems. To me, they're crime syndicates. And this is one of the shirts that we sell at the Trends Journal.
A politician to tell me, oh, wow.
To tell me what to do. All right?
Well,
yeah. So just to make it clear, that's the system. Now, I'm mentioning this because going back to AI, 25 years ago, Bill Clinton brought China into the World Trade Organization. Western nations flooded over there to get cheap labor. He gave China all the heavy industry and high tech that they never had. You go back to up to about 2015, BMW, Volkswagen, all these companies, Ford, General Motors, their sales are booming, booming, booming. Oh, everything booming in China. Not anymore. Who's the biggest exporter? Who's the biggest of anything in EVs? China. Now I'm going back to the dot-com bust. Before Bill Clinton brought them in, 10% of Chinese 18-year-olds went to college. Now, nearly 70%. And unlike in the United States, where they're going to college to take courses in transgender studies and other things like that, they're very advanced technologically, scientifically, and AI. In America, I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken. You take the subway in New York City, it's a night in Calcutta. They got a thing called Amtrak. How about Amcrap? I'm up in Kingston, New York. This is the first capital of New York State, the third Dutch settlement. I'm 4.5 hours if I could drive to Montreal. My friend just went across the river. There's a place called Rhinecliff. Took Amcrap from Rhinecliff to Montreal, 10 hours each way.
Oh, wow.
The country's rotting in front of us. Hey, go to China. Poof. Oh, you were in Japan. Poof. Not here. Boom, 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 boom. The roads, boom, 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 boom. The whole country's rotting in front of our eyes.
So where is this coming from? Where did America take a turn to deindustrialization, to the degrading of all of the infrastructure? And as Jimmy Dore usually says, under every bridge you've got homeless and they don't even fix the bridges anymore. When did that happen? Because once upon a time, there was an America that actually wanted to work. And of course, the first large railway networks were all built in America. And then that thinking went away. And I have friends who all break it down to basically financialization of the economy. Where do you put this degeneration of the?
It's again, just to make this clear, I was the assistant to the secretary of the New York State Senate as a young guy. I used to work on major political campaigns in Westchester County, the richest county in America. I designed and instructed a course at St. John's University, American Politics and Campaign Technology, how to run political campaigns. I put on a brunch with Ronald Reagan when I was 30 years old with 16 of our board of directors. I've been with presidents, prime ministers, and princes. It's a crime syndicate. They're low-life pieces of arrogant crap in a country near you. You got it? Take a trip to the UK. You like out of his mind little Stammer? How about the Catzon Macron? How about the guy in Germany, Merz? You look at the poll ratings of these people, they're under 20%, all three of them.
Hey, just a very quick note. The best way to support this channel is by signing up for my free Substack. You can also help with a paid subscription there, or you can get some of our new merch on neutralitystudies.com. Links below. See you there. Yeah, but Merz is such a wonderful example. Used to head BlackRock over there in Germany. I mean, it directly related to the money crime syndicate, as you put it, and makes it to the top of the political food chain. And now is going to be responsible basically for riding Europe into a full all-out war with the Russians. How did this encrusted elite come to dominate countries that once upon a time used to have a sane foreign policy?
Again, you're asking me why the United States is rotting. You look at one of the covers of our Trends Journal a couple of weeks ago. China trumps the U.S., and we put Trumps with Trump's name, Trump. The business of China is business, and the business of America is war.
Yeah.
All right? I'm the same age as Trump. I grew up during the Vietnam War. I got draft deferments like he did. But I launched a movement called Occupy Peace. I had peace rallies every year. I know the day. There's this cat by the name of Smedley Butler.
Yeah. War's a racket.
War's a racket. Yep. He goes on to say, war's a racket, it always has been. Is possibly the oldest, easily the most profitable, surely the most vicious. It is the only one international in scope. It is the only one in which the profits are reckoned in dollars and the losses in lives. You got it? America destroyed itself with all these wars. Hey, you elect me for president? I promise you, I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars, all right? I'm Trump. I'm giving you the crap back then. Hey, I'll go back to last February, all right? I'm going to cut the defense budget by $500 billion, all right? Oh, no, now this year we're going to increase it by $500 billion.
Here we have a contradiction, because in order to do war, you need an industrial base to implement it. And the United States hollowed out that industrial base and basically made sure it's being transferred to China very efficiently. So is it the system then, what Marx said in the end, the capitalists are going to sell us the, no, that was Lenin, the capitalists are going to sell us the noose at which we're going to hang them. Is that's what's happening at the moment with this capitalist core of the West?
Of the world. Look, again, before I go on, and remind me to do that, but I want to go back to, before I forget, about China and the dot-com bust. China's going to lead the world in AI. Trends are born, they grow, they mature, they reach old age, and then they die. You don't invest all your money in the infants that were born in 2022. Go back to 2025 when DeepSeek came out. Oh, DeepSeek? Oh, yeah, you saw NVIDIA's stock go down, what, $600 billion in one day? Oh, it got back up. China's going to lead the world in AI. And AI is the future. Love it, hate it, it's what is. So going back, that's where they're going. That's where that's going. Now go to the question you just asked me before that I said I would answer. You just...
The why it is that if war is a racket and war is the business of the United States is proving right now that it's becoming bad at its core business. With the way the Iran war went, with the way that the United States is actually running out of munitions, of missiles, the capitalist system, which then creates a military-industrial complex, which sells weapons at a tremendous amount of money, but actually only shells out pretty little of those things. I mean, that seems to be working against this militarized system that the United States has created. Why is that?
Because, again, it's the military-industrial complex that runs the country. Once upon a time, there was this president by the name of Dwight D. Eisenhower, 5-star general, supreme commander of the Allied forces, and 2-term president. He said, the military-industrial complex is robbing the nation of the genius of the scientists, the sweat of the laborers, and the future of the children. And here we are. I am so heartbroken to see the rotting of this nation. You have no idea. Once upon a time, people all over the world wanted to come to America. Not anymore. It's a crap show. The style's gone. The vibe is gone. Again, the politicians are politicians. They're crime syndicates.
But
they're only interested in themselves.
But the markets keep producing profits for these people, aren't they?
Yep. Again, going back, this is why I also wanted to mention about the systems going on. It's not only the West that they're doing it in. What's going on in India? Oh, the cockroach party. Oh, yeah, Gen Z, huh? Gen Z? Yeah. How come? They got no future. What's going on in Nepal? Oh, they overthrew the government. Gen Z. Again, I'm a guy, Bronx, New Yorker originally, right? I'm a New Yorker. They elect a guy by the name of Mandani. Nobody ever heard of this guy. A Muslim in the most heavily populated Jewish city in the world outside of Israel. How come? Gen Z. They're broke. They're busted. The Gen Z revolution is happening because this is what we're at now with Off With Their Heads 2.0. The billionaires are getting richer. Everybody else is getting poorer. They have no future. When I was a young man, there were things in America called grocery stores, drug stores, shoe stores, hardware stores, fish stores, clothing stores, all chains now. The big zone everything. The young people have no future. What are you going to get a job at Walmart? Nah, I think I'll get one at Home Depot. Lowe's is better than that. What are you kidding? There used to be as a kid growing up, my Aunt Grace and Uncle Dominic had a fish store in the Bronx. My Uncle Jimmy and Aunt Ed had one at Rego Park in Queens. Another one in Jackson Heights in Queens. My Uncle Frankie and Aunt Ida and my Uncle Marin and Aunt Rose had a fish store in Flushing. All right, middle class. And my Uncle Al had a butcher shop in the Bronx. That's the way it used to be. No more. The bigs own everything. They control the whole country. Look at the elections. Hey, I'm Elon Musk. Here's $250 million, all right? Hey, I'm Marion Adelson. Here's another couple $100 million, all right?
So what is this leading to? What is the trend? Colonel Douglas McGregor says and is convinced that the United States cannot get around an actual violent conflict. Are you on the same? Do you have the same outlook? I mean, this must lead to some form of people on the street with pitchforks and so on.
Again, it's off with their heads 2.0, and it's not only in the United States. It's going on global, this Gen Z revolution. They have no future. They got nothing. I know a young guy, very brilliant in high tech. He said he has done over 1,000 tries to get jobs in tech jobs. He's only gotten one interview.
Devastating. Devastating realities for anyone below 25. It's like, yeah, you can't. What do you do then with the best high school and college with the best college degree? So, but shouldn't we expect that the people who make the most money out of that, they make the most profit out of this system, that they would actually have an incentive to try to say that, okay, we at least need a minimum kind of prosperity for the people on the lowest class, so that they do not take the pitchforks, because the Cayman Islands are not a defensible position, right? That kind of thinking, but that seems not to be here, is it?
No, it never has been. Normally, they're billionaires. Once upon a time, the tax to these people was 90% when Eisenhower, during those times. They pay nothing. They pay nothing. The facts are there. And they get all these government deals. It's a crime syndicate. Again, was no relationship to Wall Street and Main Street. Again, and by the way, things changed so dramatically after COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Restaurants used to stop serving, but I'm in the Hudson Valley, 10 o'clock at night, now 9 o'clock at night. Streets are empty. Every restaurant owner I know tells me how bad business is. One guy was telling me, yeah, on Friday and Saturday, we used to do about $12,000-$15,000. He said, now we're doing about $3,000 and $5,000. One after another.
How long before this collapses? How long before something really big happens that's going to lead to actual, to people on the streets?
It won't become a reality until the equity markets crash. That's when it becomes a reality.
When and for what reason will that happen? Like the AI bubble bursting?
Yeah. When the markets crash, then it becomes a reality. It doesn't become a reality until then.
The last time the markets crashed badly in 2008, what we've seen is mass bailouts of the very people who did that, whose crimes this was. The whole ninja idea and the splitting up of all of these debt obligations. I mean, all of these crappy ideas. But everybody who was involved in that got bailed out, and that's kind of what this capitalist system does. Don't you think that it will just be the same of that one, another $1 trillion down the money drain?
It's not the capitalist system, it's a fascist system. According to Levy Institute at Bard College, the Federal Reserve bailed out the banksters that caused this thing $29 trillion.
Oh my God.
29 trillion. And by the way, the guy at Levy Institute at Bard College, the guy's name was Botstein. That was one of the Epstein guys. Mm-hmm. They just got rid of him. Anyway, going back to it, yes, they're going to do everything they can to come up with more cheap money backed by nothing and printed on nothing. The real debt in America is not $40 trillion. It's more like $120 trillion when you put in Social Security and all the other, and you don't have to believe me, even Fortune magazine talks about it. So they're going to, now the importance of this is that the more they do this, the greater the beginning of the death of the dollar. Much of the world has had enough of the United States geopolitical and financial hegemony. BRICS and everybody else. It's going to be the death of the dollar. That means that the deeper the dollar goes, the higher precious metal prices are going to spike. That's what we see happening. So yes, they're going to bail it out, quantitative easing. Who made up this crap? Again, I had forecast the trends. We took out the domain name, the Panic of '08 in 2007. The Trends Journal is right there. We call the dot-com bust in autumn of 1999. Said it bust by the second quarter 2000. I thought things would crash again in 2012. They didn't teach me about quantitative easing in Economics 101 at graduate school.
Mm-hmm.
They'll make up any crap they want.
I mean, to keep it stable, that's the kind of the job of the Fed, right? But the underlying system, if that one is rotten, at some point there's going to be an end even to what the Fed can do. And I think if I understand you correctly, then you're saying that that point is near.
Yes. And it'll be worthless. Be worthless. We are heading, this is not going to be the Great Depression. It's going to be the greatest depression, and it's worldwide. Oh, did you see the data just came out of the UK? Oh, they had a negative GDP in the last quarter. Oh, how about the Eurozone? Oh, yeah, they just had negative GDP, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't going to be it's not going to be stagflation. It's going to be dragflation. Economies are going to be dragged down, and inflation is going to go up.
So do you read the war in Ukraine and the Ukraine-Russia war and the Iran war? Do you read them under this in this context? Are they a distraction, or are they an attempt, especially the Iran war, at turning things around and saving the petrodollar or something?
If this Iran, by the way, as we just went on the air, they say that Hezbollah and Israel have agreed to a ceasefire.
Yeah. But usually a ceasefire for Israel means the other one stopped shooting while you keep killing them. So yeah. But yeah, that one aside, yeah.
So yeah, one of my books, Trend Tracking, well better than Megatrends, Time Magazine. I say how I became a trend forecaster when the Iran conflict broke out in the late 1970s. 99.99, this is when I became a political atheist. Jimmy Carter, another clown boy who gave us Mujahideen. Yeah, we got to stop those Russians from taking out the Taliban. Oh, gave us Osama bin Laden, yeah, that guy. Yeah, the guy that deregulated the airline industry when there were hundreds of airlines and now 4 run the whole thing. Oh, the Jimmy Carter who made the beginning of interstate banking when banks were only intrastate, when Bank of America was only in California. Yeah, and the big, that little slime ball. And Brzezinski, may he rot in hell, that murderous slime ball. Jimmy Carter comes back from Iran, spending New Year's Eve with the Shah and his wife. Gets off the helicopter, all the little boys in their costumes salute. And Carter says, right here, the Shah is the island of stability in the Middle East. And the Bronx used to say, bullshit has its own sound. I said, this thing's going down. I started playing the gold and oil futures markets. I put $5,000 bet into each one. And by 1980, I brought up to almost $750,000. Again, I was a young guy, lost most of it too. But here's what happened. 99.99% of the people had no idea how the United States and the UK overthrew the democratically elected government of Mohammad Mossadegh in Iran in 1953.
Yeah.
Because Mossadegh had the gall to say, hey, that oil does not belong to Anglo-Iranian Oil, better known today as BP, or Standard Oil, better known today as ExxonMobil. It belongs to the Iranian people. No, it doesn't. That little slime ball, may he rot in hell, a fat, ugly, cigar-smoking slob, Winston Churchill, who gave us World War I and World War II, they didn't release the telegrams until middle of 2000 between him and Kermit Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt's great-grandson, that the United States and the UK have to overthrow the government. It's there in telegrams.
Yeah.
So when the revolution happened, I knew it was real. Now, going back to the war, I've been writing since then. If the United States goes to war against Iran, there's no way in the world that they'll win. They're very advanced. These are the Persians. They're advanced scientifically, technologically, and militarily. And to make it 1,000% clear, you got that head shit guy spewing out his crap. Hey, we got the toughest military in the world. You haven't won a war since World War II. And you wouldn't have won that one without the Russians. And you couldn't beat the Vietnamese. You only killed 3.5 million of them and killed about 250,000 American boys and millions poisoned with Agent Orange. You couldn't beat the Iraqis, and you swallowed the crap spewing out of the mouth of that little nobody, little Georgie Bush, another spoiled daddy's boy. We're going to get that guy Osama bin Laden dead or alive. 92% of the people supported the Afghan war, the longest war in American history, and you couldn't win that one. What makes you think you're going to win the Iran war? Now, my fear is they're going to go nuclear.
So you don't trust what just came out. This is not going to be de-escalation. This is just a short pause button in order to rally the markets, in order to cash in, and then right back to it. I mean, or right now is the moment to buy all the stocks and everything you want, and then hit the button and prices go up and cash in. Is that going to be it?
That's it. Game. Again, the Samson option.
Yeah.
Israel's Samson option. They say if they lose, they go nuclear. Mm-hmm. You're saying it. It's there. I'm not making it up. And Netanyahu's going to do everything he can. The elections are coming up in October to stay in office. The longest running prime minister of Israel. Oh, by the way, his son's in Miami. I forgot. He ain't out there fighting, right? Yeah.
No. I mean, fighting is for the peasant class, right? That's it. You said to die. So tell me, what do you think can be done realistically in order? I mean, we can't go on like this. And by us, I mean basically what Richard Sakwa calls the political West, what others call the collective West. This conglomerate of crime syndicates. What can we do against them?
Number one, I tell people, one of the books I worked on also many years ago, before it was even popular, was Natural Healing back in the 1980s. Mm. To get in the best shape you can, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It does not take a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority, keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men, says Samuel Adams, one of the founding fathers. This Gen Z revolution is very important. The way it has to change now, and it could change, you have to unite the young people. And it's all social media. That is the way of the world. I read every article I could on how and why Mondani beat little Andy Cuomo, no little spoiled daddy's boy. My daddy was Mario Cuomo. Yeah, that little arrogant clown. Social media, young people. You have like 80,000 people going door to door, passing out stuff. All young people. You got to unite the young people. And you have to bring it back again. I believe in the antitrust laws that Slick Willie Clinton did away with. Glass-Steagall Act, one after another. We had the Robinson-Patman and Sherman Antitrust Act, on and on and on. They did away with all of these antitrust laws that allowed the bigs to own everything. Put back the antitrust laws and break up the bigs.
You know what frustrates me so much is that within political science and economics, it's well understood that unfeathered capitalism just leads to monopolization, which then leads to oligopolies at best, and that leads to the rot of the system, right? This is well understood. I mean, there are government failures and there are market failures, and if you don't balance the two, then you got yourself a crap system. And we managed, I mean, in the West, like with the way that things are going, especially with doing away with the antitrust laws, and of course undermining the labor laws and so on. You just work yourself into that kind of early economic grave, and it just seems to be right around the corner by now.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, I'm heartbroken to see the decline of this country that I love so much. As I say, I'm only me because I'm a Napolitano born in the Bronx. If I was born in Alta Villa Appina, Vico Quenz, that wouldn't be me. And by the way, I own 3 of the most historic buildings in America. In Kingston, New York, I mentioned, was the third Dutch settlement. And there are more pre-Revolutionary War stone buildings here than anywhere in the world, in America. And is the only corner in America with pre-Revolutionary War stone buildings on each corner. And I own 3 of them. And I bought them because I was going to leave the country because I'm fed up with the politics. I'm going back to 2010. And everywhere I went, I didn't want to go there. I didn't, and I came back and one of the buildings were for sale and I bought it right away. And I bought the other 3 and the other 2. And I bought them because the Constitution right across the street from me over here that was written for New York State when Kingston was the capital. The British burnt it down after the Battle of Saratoga. Over 60% of America's Constitution comes from the Constitution that was written here. And I bought these buildings, and I'm here because this was the true spirit of America. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? What are you talking about? Happiness is a dirty word. Liberty, you got none. I'll tell you what to do. Hey, you heard Trump. I'm the boss. I'm the boss. Come over here and tell me come over here and tell me what to do. Come over here and tell me what to do, fat boy. Come over here and you make me do what you want me to do. Where's the guts of the people? It's gone. It's gone. Yes, I'm a Republican. I'm a Democrat. I'm a liberal. I'm a conservative. My mind is that big. I'm still in kindergarten. All right?
It must hurt you a lot. It must hurt you a lot to see all of this from a place that once had an American dream to sell, right?
Oh,
yeah. And that dream has been long gone.
Yep.
So if you can give an advice to the young people, to the Gen Z, and tell them what how you would do it if you were in their shoes, what would it be?
Learn trades. Again, get in the best shape you can, and do something that you can do to make things happen better. This is one of my books. Of everything I've written, is my favorite. What Zizzy Gave Honey Boy. A true story about love, wisdom, and soul of America. There used to be a TV show called Everyone Loves Raymond, and the woman Doris Roberts, who played the mother, her last starring role, was playing my aunt. I don't know if you could see this, but here's a picture of my parents' wedding. Could you see that?
Yeah,
1934, the height of the Depression. Look what they look like. My father worked in a fish store. They were laborers. They worked in factories. Look at them. Look at the Bezos. Look at the Musks. Look at the Gates. Look what these billionaires look like. They look like crap. Gates. Zuckerberg. Look at them. That used to be America. Gone. Gone. And they were lovers and they were fighters. They were lovers. I'm just telling you. Again, I'm born right after the war, 1946 in the Bronx. Whole different trip. I was a premature baby. I come home crying. My sister's over 5'9". My brother's over 6 feet. I'm about 6 years old, 7 years old. I come home crying. My father, what are you crying about? He said, I got beat up. He said, you don't come home crying. And he walked away from me. I became the toughest. I was the smallest. I was the fastest. I went on. I've been teaching close combat for many years. You become a fighter and a lover. And that's gone. There's no fight and there's no love anymore. It breaks my heart to see what's happened to this country.
Do you have any hope that maybe out of the successes of China and the successes of other places and of Asia and of new places around the world, that we might find a new spirit of how to operate economies and how to have a system that doesn't create these crime syndicates?
Again, you have to bring back the antitrust laws that we used to have.
Right.
And they slaughtered them. And again, to me, the only thing that is going to change America is a renaissance. Think back.
Do you think America can do it? Do you think it can reinvent itself? Like,
yes,
out of the force of Gen Z, reinvent America?
Yep. But you need the money to do it. When the Medicis made it happen back the last time, after the Black Plague, they used to say in Italy, now remember, we're going late 1300s. They used to say, alla Romana et all'antica, in the manner of the Romans and the ancients, to describe the quality of their work. And I just showed you the picture of my aunt. What the people look like. We have to bring back that spirit. The music was America's greatest export.
It was.
From ragtime to swing to the big bands to rock and roll to R&B to Motown, and now it's again. They say in the King James Bible that the meek shall inherit the earth. They misspelt it. The geeks have inherited the earth. Synthesized crap music. Boom, 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 boom. I go to nice restaurants. I get a stupid crap spewed in my head. By the way, when did you ever hear Sonny Rollins?
I don't want to be the waiter when that happens. I'm pretty sure you're not holding back.
Yeah, I'm telling you, so sad. Anyway, so that's to me, we need a renaissance.
Oh, well, that's a very good point. And the Renaissance will also come through through arts and culture, and not not just through the money.
Arts, but that the money needs to make that happen. The art and the culture's there. You need the dough to make it happen. And again, that's how it happened the last time. I had a wonderful French girlfriend, Marie-Pierre Astier. Matter of fact, her brother Francois was the bodyguard for Jacques Chirac and Mitterrand, and my close combat teacher, John Perkins, may rest in peace, used to go to Palace Élysée and work out with them. And Marie-Pierre, a great artist, used to say, art is the way of finding the true meaning of the human spirit. And I agree with that 1,000%.
The way back through the arts and culture in order to create a renaissance also of the political and the economy, in order to fix what's wrong with these societies that are rotten to the core. Gerald, thank you very much for your overview here. I mean, you are a very passionate thinker. Is there anything that you would like to share with my audience that you think we haven't touched upon, that you think is still important to understand where we are at?
Yeah, the other thing is important too, is you're seeing the Ukraine war ramping up. And bombing Moscow. And by the way, in your Trends Journal, back in, you saw how happy this guy is? It's the United States overthrow of the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych in Ukraine in 2014, which the people have no idea about. I'm concerned that these wars are going to ramp up.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it ramping up already. And I'm concerned that there's going to be like an attack on a nuclear plant or something like that. And again, nuclear weapons being used. We need peace. And so my great concerns are that there's not going to be a peace deal in the Iran war. Israel's going to do everything it can to keep ramping it up. And I'm concerned about not having a peace deal in Ukraine, because Europe is giving them more and more money for drones and to keep the war going. So those are my concerns.
I was in Russia just last week, and I tell you, the Russians are angry. The Russians are very angry for all the kind of escalation that is happening, and they are thinking very seriously about what to do. And they are listening very seriously to the Europeans when they talk about splitting up Russia, when they talk about carrying the war into Moscow. And just today, there's another New York Times article saying like, oh, the Ukrainians and the Europeans are very proud of carrying the war into Moscow. Well, guess what? Guess what they are going to do? They are not going to give up, and they're going to blame it again on the same failed policy. So I don't know. I mean, it's very, very dangerous. It's extremely dangerous right now.
Very dangerous. World War III's already begun. Something's going to make it official. Again, you look back, and if Napoleon left Poland with 240,000 men and came back with 10,000 when he attacked Moscow, if the Germans couldn't beat them, what makes you think anybody else is going to beat them? It's ridiculous.
They won't, but it will kill a lot of people. It will.
I know.
A lot of.
Oh, they only killed what? How many millions? What, by 25 million in World War II?
27 million Soviet citizens.
Yeah.
7 million out of them in the military, 20 million civilians. And guess what? They remember. The Russians remember.
Of course. And again, they were
and for some reasons, the Germans think this time they're on the good side of history. And I don't know how you could ever believe that that can be true. I'm sorry. It's a ridiculous situation.
Well, again, America thinks you hear the crap coming out of Trump's mouth and Hegseth's mouth about how we got the toughest military in the world. You haven't won a war since World War II. What are you talking about? Yeah, just to make this 1,000% clear, there's another one of my books. It was an international bestseller, Trends 2000. They brought me down to Virginia Military Institute. That's the top place. Back in 2000. You know why? I wrote about new millennium warfare. There were no drones back then. I said, all these tanks, these planes, these ships, I said, this is all useless stuff. The internet revolution had just begun, about 9 years earlier. I said, it's going to be a whole different type of warfare. I said, it's all waste of money, waste of time. Again, facts are right there. We're new millennium warfare. It's a whole different world. And I'm concerned about the wiping out of humanity.
Yeah.
If we don't have peace.
That's the risk we're running, because we can do it ourselves. We don't need an asteroid, and we don't need any kind of natural phenomenon. We can do it ourselves. And if it continues, we might go that route. And people, very serious people, including the Bulletin of Nuclear Scientists, is very, very worried about this.
The cover of this week's Trends Journal, people could go just type in Trends Journal, you see what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is Musk wearing a shirt saying Occupy Mars? And me, as I said, I have Occupy Peace rallies. I'm wearing my Occupy Peace shirt and say Occupy Peace. And I say the billionaires don't give a penny for peace. How about Occupy Mars? Occupy hell.
One thing I don't get, and where I assume we are just caught in a sociological death spiral, is that if the planet goes down and if we wipe each other out, then the best bunker won't help, because in the end you will starve. So, I mean, there's this, but that's it, right? And even the Musks and the Bezos will eventually die in their little bunkers once it's over, right? So, but that's the irrationality of it.
I know. They're narcissistic, arrogant people. By the way, what the hell is it? One of the guys, Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
His son, Peter Buffett, his Novo Foundation used to rent my 1763 Dr. Jensen house. I had peace rallies up here. He never gave me a penny for peace. I was the landlord. He would never even say hello to me. I'm only a little guinea from the Bronx.
I promised you to let you go after 45 minutes, but just one last thing, because you're the person to ask this. Why is it that we are not able to build why is it that that it's possible to have a military-industrial complex? Why is it not possible to have a peace industrial complex, Because a lot of people win from peace, a lot, like a vast majority of people have a lot to win from peace, but we can't make systematically squeeze money out of that, because if you could, then we would go that route.
I'm telling you, if the billionaires gave money, I don't think I'm going to be doing Occupy Peace anymore. When I have the rallies, comes out of my pocket about $30,000 just for security and the equipment, the filming equipment, and plus. And I had one last year. I had Judge Napolitano, Scott Ritter, Joe Laurie, or Roger Waters, their live podcast. I had top people here.
That's very
maybe 150 people showed up. It was an old age home. So I don't know, you can't do it without the support. I'm heartbroken.
Yeah, but that's my question. How do we monetize peace rallies? How do we squeeze money out of peace? Because if that was possible, then the markets would take care of it. So we haven't found
Again, the billionaires. Again, I just told you, Peter Buffett never gave me a penny for peace. I'm the landlord.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed that my daddy didn't give me any money. They gave me everything who I am. These are a bunch of little spoiled daddy's boys with bad attitudes.
Mm. Good, Gerald. Thank you for your very passionate speech, and I hope I can reach out to you again when I have questions.
I'd love to.
About this,
thank you so much for what you're doing and the knowledge that you have and the things that you say. You're a rare cat, man. People don't know what you know and say what you say. Again, once upon a time, I used to be on Oprah, the Today Show, Good Morning America, everybody. I got blacklisted from everybody because I came out against the wars.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's because people like you that I still have hope in humanity. And actually all the people who listen to us. Like, we are a community, and all we need to do is to win over the warmongers. And what they try to do is to divide us amongst left and right, and rich and poor and whatnot. And what we need to do is to do away with them, and not with each other. So thank you also for your work.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Well, Gerald Celente, I will link the books, your books below. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.